just as we start, an absolutely wonderful view here. It's a miracle on the 29th of March. I hope you're doing very well, my friends. I'm just getting all the technology ready here to stream on multiple streams. Thanks for joining. It's really wonderful to see you. Let me just see if I can get in here. Yes, I can get myself in here too. So what you are seeing here, thank you for all the happy birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. I just have to get all my screens ready. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to just 1 second. So let me make sure I can see everything here. This is a live view of the Southwest Florida nest. Why is it so incredible? Well, not because it's my birthday, but we have a live pip here. So this is the second clutch. It's the second clutch, which is very unusual. As far as I know, this has not happened before on the Southwest Florida nest. It's quite remarkable. So that happened early this morning. So what happens here is the little one in the egg, the hatchling, develops a small calcium tooth. It's called the egg tooth. And that's what you see there. And this is happening live right now. They have this incredible camera. So I just had to share this wonderful moment with you, a real moment of happiness, right? Hi, Samantha, Marion, Susan, Karen, everyone on Facebook. Thank you so much, Valerie, and everyone joining in. I'm just going to have a quick look now at YouTube. 1 second. So I'm jumping from one channel to the next. Hi, Hal. Hi, Soaring Eagle MSO. Jan, thank you very much. Patty, Sandy, Buddy, Sherry, very nice to see all of you. Thank you for joining and just enjoy this incredible moment here together. Quite a miracle, really. It's what nicer and most wonderful thing can we see here on a Sunday as this live view from Southwest Florida. And thank you for all your Florida nest, and thank you so much for all your very kind birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. I wanted to share some happiness with you, compassion to everyone, compassion for our planet, for our animals, and for everyone who's there. I really appreciate it. And thanks also on Periscope for joining, and thanks for all the wishes. Sapphire Song, thank you so much. Hazel Eyes, yeah, we've missed you. Yes, I've also missed you. I have been rather quiet for quite some time, but that doesn't mean anything. Hi, everyone. So anyway, I've got a great program here for you, and I couldn't be blessed, or we couldn't be blessed more than having such an incredible sight. You can see, I mean, just look at the feet here of I think it's probably Mama. Anyone who wants to comment on the Southwest Florida nest is very welcome. So I'm sure the Southwest Florida nest, it's one of the most famous nests ever, right? Southwest Florida, of course, I've been there. I've broadcast live from this incredible nest before. I've been there 2 years ago. And what's amazing here that we see the incredible delicacy of balance between this power that Mama Eagle has, and just the delicacy of the egg and not destroying it. And that's not the only thing. We'll talk a bit about the northeast Florida nest. We'll also talk a little bit about a second clutch happening in the Catalina. We'll also talk about some eagle feathers. Well, we in British Columbia, by the way, so that you don't get a fright when I have an eagle feather, we are legally allowed in the province of British Columbia to collect eagle feathers. I know that's prohibited in the US, so don't ask me where I get this. Also, please don't ask me to send any eagle feathers. I get that request very often. Please don't ask that. That ain't gonna happen, okay? But I'm gonna show you some slow motion footage, what you can do with a feather or something similar with your iPhone. So I've prepared all that. I got 3 iPhones here, believe it or not. I got 3 iPhones, 2 screens, 2 computers running. It's absolutely crazy. So a lot of preparation going. My sister Angelina, hello, she's also watching. That's really wonderful. Karen, Neil, oh my goodness, Angel, so many very nice wishes coming in here. Valerie, thank you so much. Audrey, John, Mohammed, Jacqueline, Trisha, Anna, Jan, Melanie, Brownin, Audrey, and so on. Oh my goodness, Leonie Pika. That's a Pia, sounds very much Häkkinen. That sounds Finnish to me. Very nice to have you from all over the world. Let's celebrate this most wonderful day because we have the birth of an eagle. An eagle egg. By the way, I was born on Easter Sunday. Can you believe it? Easter Sunday. So this is like the Sunday Easter egg for me. It's just like probably the greatest birthday I've ever had in my life to see this live with the Eagles. Isn't that incredible? It's like, for me, that is, well, that's like coming back to my own birthday, born on Easter Sunday. It's just such a blessing, isn't it? It's wonderful. Hi, Amanda. I've also seen Amanda here. That's wonderful. Just looking, Judith Chaplin, Michelle. Nice to see Mel Lowe there, to Buddy, Carrie Miller, Nancy. And please, if I omit any of your names, that is no, don't take it personally. I will read all these comments. I read all your comments, and I really think we're so blessed, to see all of you. And thanks. I'm just looking quickly at Periscope here. Hi, John, and Judy, and Sapphire already says happy birthday. Very nice to see all of you. Well, this is such a blessing. It is such a privilege. It is such a privilege in our times to be able to broadcast today. It's a privilege and an honor, and I feel absolutely humbled to be able to do this. Anyway, again, for those of you who don't know what this picture is that's going in the background, that's a Southwest Florida eagle nest. That's Dick Pritchett Real Estate. I've been there. I broadcast live from there. They have a pip there. So what happens is, this is the second clutch, which is very unusual. Why does a second clutch happen? It usually happens when eagles, when the eggs get broken, there's some mishatch or so, an eaglet died or so, that can initiate a second clutch. It has also, in some rare cases, that an eaglet was already born and then fell out of the nest. That may also initiate a second clutch. So there are quite a few reasons for that. This year we seem to have it in 2 nests as far as I know. If you know any other ones, by the way, if anyone's got birthday today, wave to me, then I'll say congratulations to you too. So this is why this is so miraculous, and it's so wonderful to talk. I don't have to say much because it's all happening behind that. Do you know why blood is on the pip and egg? Okay, there's some blood there. I don't actually know, Karen. That's a great question. If anybody knows the answer there, I don't know. I don't know. Thanks for the question, and thanks for all the wonderful wishes. I'm just scrolling down and reading as quick as I can. So it's quite a miracle here that is happening. It really feels like Easter Sunday to me. I know you're all going through difficult with the coronavirus. I understand that most of you are now probably confined to your homes. I understand that. My heart goes out to all of you. But what more can we wish for than having some event like this live? There you can see the second egg. By the way, Southwest Florida has two eggs. The second one, as far as I know, is due in 3 days. Let me just check this. This is the screen that you have from the Southwest Florida Eagle Cam. You can see latest update, 16 minutes. So this is egg number 3. They had 2 eggs. So what happened with the first 2 eggs? Very tragic. Very tragic. I think one of them didn't hatch. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I remember. The second one did hatch, but now comes the big but. They found this eaglet died several days later. It was tragic. It had a broken feather, a blood feather. So usually that's not a problem with eaglets. The blood will just what's the word? I can't even find the word. The blood, clots. Yes, you get the blood clots actually, due to the hemoglobin, right? The blood clots, of course, and stops the bleeding. But the problem was that this little eaglet had some rat poisoning. Rat poisoning is really evil. It's absolutely horrible. So what happened is that acts like a blood thinner, and the bleeding couldn't stop, and actually probably this eaglet then died as a consequence of rat poisoning, where the bleeding couldn't be stopped. Absolutely awful, tragic story. Now, the good news is, look at this now. So, Eagles don't give up. Eagles don't give up. They're absolutely powerful and they're absolutely amazing. Yes, one didn't hatch, says Amanda. The other eaglet died. That is correct. Right. That's the way it was. That's the way it was. I'll have a quick look on Facebook and see if anybody is commenting there. Yes, our admin Lucy and the Big Bear Lake Eagles group is celebrating her birthday too. Good. Well, thank you, Lee Ann Miller, for letting me know. Happy birthday. Mine is April 9th. So where are all the Aries here? I'm definitely not an astrologer, guys. Don't get this wrong. I'm an astronomer. I'm not an astrologer. But anyway, I respect whatever your beliefs are. That's fine. Karen says, I watch the Eagles every day. I love the peaceful feeling. I completely agree with you. Thank you for all your lovely wishes. I so appreciate it. So anyway, I got so much on online. So do watch this nest. I will quickly jump to the other nest, and this is quite interesting. Let me just put this on. So this, thank you to Nancy for sending me this link yesterday. This is the Catalania. So this is I interviewed. Where are we? Yes, this is the West End Bald Eagle cam. So my understanding, and I'm not completely up to date here, my understanding is this is the second clutch there, and I think the first two eggs were destroyed by ravens. Really? Wow, by ravens. Is that right? And the second clutch, I think, I don't remember exactly, but I think one of the eggs again was destroyed by ravens, and there's one egg left now, right? And I don't know what the count there is, so please fill me in with your comments. Many of you know this in a lot more detail than I do, but that's my understanding so far, right? Praying Big Bear will do the same. Yes, Dolly Queen. Nice. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, okay, so that's, the rat poison. Michelle's just telling us that about Southwest Florida. I'm just reading the YouTube comments. So anyone who has anything to fill in here on the West End camera here can happily do so. I'm completely up to date, but that was destroyed by ravens, as far as I know. 3 eggs, if I understand correctly, and 1 is left. Oh, Linda, it's an absolute pleasure to do this. It really is. It's an absolute pleasure. 1 second, let me just check now. Where are we? Yeah, we're still on Periscope. We're still there. You're very welcome to put in comments. I'll try and read as much as possible. So that is that nest. Then very quickly, northeast. This is wonderful work from Gretchen. I haven't spoken to her for quite some time, but they have some incredible thing. You may know that one of the offsprings in the northeast nest, I'm just going down here, nest history. Oh no, I got it. I thought I had it somewhere. The season so far, yeah, it's Samson. Samson is from the 2013 clutch from the northeast Florida nest, and as you know, the original. It's now Samson and Gabrielle, right? It's Samson and Gabrielle there now. That's right. So there was a big farewell to Romeo and Juliet, and Samson then got together with Gabrielle, and they have now. I think it was in February, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was February 19th and 21st. I'm trying to get all these figures into my head, where they. Laid some eggs, or did they hatch? Then I don't even remember. I think it was the hatch, right? But anyway, this is the current. Oh, what's going on here? Let me just reopen this one. Come on. Oh, the camera. Oh, they have such a wonderful camera. They have a 4K camera. Seems to not working at the moment, but do have a look at the northeast Florida nest. They're quite big already, the eaglets there, right? So I'm just looking at your comments. If I've missed anything, let me know. Thank you, Sherry, also for these Sherry von Sickle. Thank you for the birthday wishes. And so, hi, Edna. Tudo bem in Brazil. That's very nice, and everybody else who is watching this live stream. Okay, so let's go on. So that's what's happened so far. That's what happens. It's unresponsive. I don't know what's happening there. So what I wanted to do is spend a bit of time also now, just whilst I'm talking, let me just go back to this wonderful nest here in Southwest Florida and tell you a little bit about slow motion photography. And what I've actually done is I have connected my iPhone. It's quite a complicated setup that I have here. I've connected my iPhone directly to the screen so you can see what I'm doing. Because I want to show you some settings. If you ever get out there, you can do a lot with your iPhone, your smartphone. It doesn't have to be an iPhone. It can be it can be a Samsung. I don't care. But the latest iPhones or the latest smartphones have some incredible capabilities. And I want to show you that live actually on an Eagle feather. Okay? So here's the Eagle feather. We're allowed to do this in British Columbia. Okay, completely legal to pick them up. Just that you know. Okay, so. Let's take a look at that, and I'm going to see if I can, yes, let me just see 1 second, that I can share my screen of my iPhone with you. And what I want to do now is I want to show you the settings in an iPhone, only for the iPhone here, but the smartphone, any smartphone should be similar, and show you how you can do amazing slow motion photography. I will show some of the recent clips from my smartphone, and then I'll also show you the very high speed camera, which is this one, high speed camera that I use. But I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's a very specialized camera. I want to show you what you can do with a very modern smartphone, so that you can enjoy similar things to what I've done. It's very easy to do and give you some encouragement, maybe some ideas of what is all possible to do. Okay. Hi Ivani, nice to see you. 1 second, I'm just going to have a quick look here at, gosh, I have to juggle between so many screens, just see what's going on here. There's a lot of chat going on. That's very nice. Wobbies, I see Amanda, Buddy, and so on, Patty, and so on. They good, entertain yourselves on YouTube. It's great that you're all there. Okay. So jumping back now, I'm going to jump to my iPhone screen. Now this is quite amazing. This is the first time I managed to do this, to get the live screen from my iPhone actually onto that. So that's what my busy iPhone looks like. If I switch on the camera, right, that's what I'm doing now. That's switching on the camera. So I'm going to just give you a quick look here. Let's switch it on. So that's, if I put it on photo, for example, here you can see how busy everything looks here. So I just want to show you my studio very quickly. That's the right-hand screen where I can, that's one computer that I've connected to my main computer that allows me to show you everything live. So I can change things here with my hands very quickly, and it goes on to the production platform. That's a production platform that you see here at the moment. So you can see that it's showing the iPhone actually, right? The iPhone, that's me next to it with the second camera, which is right there. The second camera is a very sophisticated camera, which causes no halos. You can see that's the green screen behind me. It's not a green screen, it's actually a gray screen. But this is a special type of camera that causes very good green screen without all these ghost effects and so on. So that's what's going on there. Then on the next screen here, I'm following all your comments. For example, I wanted to show you. So I see my live screen here, but I can switch here. 1 second, I can switch here. Here, you see that's where I'm reading the YouTube live comments at the moment. So I can jump backward and forward. I can follow what's going on here on Facebook at the moment. So on Facebook, we have a live stream and I can follow it there. And that is my overall dashboard, just so that you know how crazy this whole thing is. So I can see a pre-live stream here. I can see I'm broadcasting here on Periscope, on YouTube, and on Facebook, and everything is going fine. Okay, so it's quite crazy. So you can see how, and I have several iPhones. There's one iPhone for reading Facebook comments, one iPhone for reading Periscope comments, and so on and so on. So it's fairly sophisticated. I'm not going to bore you with technical things, but that's how I prepared. And there's some eagle feather. There's an eagle feather. So I just wanted to quickly share that with you. So let's jump back to this screen. Okay, so I'm going to switch that off now, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to show you something, how to do settings with an iPhone if you have a very sophisticated iPhone. So let's go straight to the to the settings here, and I'm going to type in here camera. You see that camera? Wait a second. If I could type camera. Okay, so let's go on to the camera. And this is very important because initially, if you have iPhone, the settings are not necessarily correct. Okay, they're not necessarily correct. The first thing I wanted to show you, you see where it says record video. Can you see that? It says record video there. Make sure it's in 4K and 60 frames per second. Why? Because by default, many smartphones, including the iPhone, is set to HD. Why 4K and why 60 frames? You would say that's absolutely crazy. No, it's not. I'll tell you why 4K. Because if you take footage from eagles at quite a distance away, if you take from quite a distance away, you can later broadcast in much lower resolution. Let's say 720p or HD, and you can crop without losing the details, right? Because you're going to a lower format. So I always do it at 4K. Why 60 frames per second and not 30 frames? Most of the things that we see at 30 frames per second, I do at 60 frames because it allows me later to slow down my footage by half without losing anything. It still looks very smooth. That's why I do it like that. So many of the videos that you see that I take with the iPhone have that type of setting. So make sure you go in your recordings to 4K at 60 frames per second. You will not regret it. Again, 4K so you can zoom in digitally without losing something if you go to HD, or 720p. Okay, and 60 frames so you can slow the whole thing down, especially eagles. You can slow the whole motion down. That's the key factor in it, okay? That's why we do it. Now, the other thing is, and that's really stunning, the new smartphones can do 240 frames per second. Okay, let me just explain to you what frames per second means. It's how many pictures are taken every second. Usually broadcast quality is around 29 to 30 frames per second. Sometimes in Europe it's 25. It depends on the settings, right? That means that you don't anymore see how the picture moves from one to the next. You don't get this static picture. You get this movie thing. So now the new iPhone or the new smartphones are able to record at 240 frames per second. Now that's magnificent. From 30, that is 8 times slow motion. That is marvelous. Now it gets interesting. So make sure the settings are not at 120 frames per second. If your smartphone has the capability of doing 240 frames per second, for goodness sakes, do 240 frames per second. It really is worth it, right? So that's what I wanted to tell you about the settings. The default settings are not necessarily the correct one. Make sure that these are correct, and you have a very powerful weapon here, for taking incredible images. And it's really true. So much for the settings. I'm jumping out of my settings now, and I'm just going to go into my photo library here very quickly. And if you scroll down here, you can see all the different types of videos. So I'm going to go and just look at the ones that are called SloMo. You see the SloMo ones? That will show me only my slow motion library. Now I can't expand this a bit more on the screen. I hope you still can see what I'm doing here, but this was all taken in Dutch Harbor recently. I've got a huge, beautiful library. This was in Dutch Harbor, the Aleutian Islands, where you can really study eagles in detail. I went there with my dear friend and eagle biologist, David Hancock, and we did amazing things. So you can see I got a huge library, which I will show during the year more and more. But I'm just going to click on one and just expand this a bit. Now look at this. This is all done with the iPhone. Isn't that amazing? 240 frames per second. Beautiful, 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 isn't it? So this is the type of thing that you can now do with the iPhone that wasn't possible. It's landing right in front of me. Well, that doesn't always happen. I can't guarantee that that'll happen to you. I can't guarantee that'll happen to you. But it's just amazing, isn't it? It's just so amazing that you can do this now, right? So let's just see if I can take another one. Yeah, I got so much. Yeah, here, that's beautiful. Just an eagle flying away with a fish and being chased. So, there are numerous examples, right? So it's so beautiful. It's landing there now, right? Landing down, took a fish and is landing. So I've just got so many beautiful clips from there, right? It's just full and full. So I'll be sharing them on mainly Facebook all over the year. So lots of things to say. Denise, I'm just going to look at your comments here very quickly because I definitely want to include all of you. I'm just going to look first at Facebook. Hi, Angel. Breathtaking, isn't it? Denise, Paula. Hi, Miguel again. Very nice you're watching. Deborah, Susan, thank you very much. Multitasking to the extreme it is. Heather, yes. Oh, Harriet went to the pond. Very nice to know. Ruth, wow, thanks for the eagle feather. Yes, and I'm going to show you that actually in a moment, how we do that. Can you explain the blood? If anybody can explain the blood on the egg, please go ahead. Put it into the stream. Okay, you're very welcome to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to jump quickly and see what's going on YouTube. Just give me a second. I'm just going to show you. In the meantime, I'm just going to show you the wonderful Southwest Florida, so I can just jump back and look at your comments here. Make sure I don't miss anything. So here we go. The last one, I'm going backwards now. MJ, simply beautiful. Riva, hi Dolly, and you're talking a lot to each other. That is so wonderful. I can see that's all going fine. If anybody can comment on the Southwest Florida, go ahead. Looks like they'll be able to talk with space station soon. Yes, Dolly, that's right. Okay, wonderful that you're all here. Okay, so let's jump right back. I wanted to show you now, I'm going to do a live demonstration of slow motion footage with the iPhone now. Okay, that's quite nice to be able to do it. So I'm going to jump back to the screen. So here we go. I'm going to go back now. Here's the screen of my iPhone as you see it right now. I'm clicking on the camera. Can you see that? That's the camera. And here you have several options, right? Video and so on, what you can do. Again, make sure your video is on 4K and 60 frames per second. It gives very good resolution. It's just superb, okay? Then you have SloMo. That's what we're going to use now, SloMo. Now, what's quite remarkable with the new iPhone is it's got three cameras, and some other smartphones have that too. If you don't have three cameras, don't worry about it. Just set your smartphone to the highest possible frame rate per second. The more frame rate per second you have, the smoother it will go. Okay. So as you can see, I can press here. I've got three cameras actually. The one camera is the wide angle. Then that's a normal. Then you have a zoom, which is quite nice. I really loved this when I was out there on the Aleutian Islands, and in very extreme conditions I was actually using the iPhone more than my other cameras because the tripod would fly away, but I could still hold my iPhone with both hands like this. So I was using the iPhone quite a lot in extreme situations. Okay, so let's do an experiment now. I'm going to get a feather. Okay, here's the eagle feather. I'm holding it in the background. You see that? I'm holding it in the background. I'm waving it. Can you see anything? Of course you can't. Well, let's do this in slow motion together. Okay, so I'm going to press the slow motion key in a moment, and I'm going to wave the feather, and let's replay the footage and see what we get. Okay, that was it. I'm going back to the library now, and let's play it. Okay, here we go. Let's play it. Look at that. Oh, it's not quite in focus. Yes, is it getting in focus there? Let's have a look. Let me just zoom in. No, it's not quite in focus, and it's actually good that this happened because there's something about the iPhone you have to know. If you go in slow motion, be sure it's focused. You see, I'm pressing on the screen. And now the feather's focused. So let's redo that footage. It happened to me quite a few times in Dutch Harbor that I didn't get the eagles focused because I forgot about that. You have to show them where the focus is. And here we go. Okay. And now I'm going to try the whole thing again, waving it like this. And let's see what we got there. Okay, go back. And here comes already, here you can see beautifully, it comes a little bit out of focus now. And it's waving a little bit, but oh, where are you? There, it's coming back. Sorry, here it's coming. Let me just go a bit forward. Coming, here we go. You can screen it. You can see that the iPhone is catching the feather beautifully as I'm waving it up and down, right? Up and down. So that's quite nice. And later you can also even zoom in there. you can zoom in and see some details, right? If you get it really sharp, it's wonderful. But that's a live demonstration, and so easy, isn't it? It's so easy to do slow motion. So I encourage you, experiment with it. If you want to start with gulls. Really, start with gulls. Don't go for eagles. Just start with gulls. Start with any birds. Hummingbirds, by the way, are going to be extremely difficult on this. Hummingbirds are going to be extremely difficult. Why? Because with hummingbirds, they flap their wings so incredibly fast, right? That even a slow motion camera at 240 frames per second, it will look fine, but it will not look as beautiful as a really high-speed camera. But anyway, it's a great tool. It's absolutely wonderful to use, right? It might be better to enlarge yourself so so we can see. Oh, I see. Okay, I can enlarge myself there. Now I've enlarged myself. I've just grown again. I have. So you can see me, yes. What I can't do is expand the iPhone window. I can't do that more, but I think you get the idea, right? Because that's just the way it's going in. But I hope you got the idea for slow motion, right? So I've shown you some. I now want to show you some incredible footage that I've done with another camera. So let me just, yeah. So this here is my favorite tool. In my last visit to Dutch Harbor, wait a second, I have to put it, if the screen background is blue, it's not going to work. Let's put a beautiful eagle in the background. How's that? That's much better. So there you go. So that's my slow motion camera. This is a special camera, costs about, I think about $3,500 US. But it's remarkable. You can put your own, there's an adapter, you can put your own. Well, if you have Nikon, doesn't matter, Sony, there's an adapter, so you can put your own lenses there. Big advantage, you don't have to reinvest, right? This is a real box. It's a box, it's like an industrial box, but it does marvelous, marvelous, marvelous work with slow motion. I'm going to show you some of the footage that I've taken, and it's raw footage, and how absolutely incredible it is. It's better, of course, than an iPhone still, because we are going here at 1,000 frames per second. That's only the start, 1,000 frames per second. So it means it's taking 1,000 pictures every second, each of them at 1,000th of a second, right? So it's like you're getting a very smooth transition. Believe me, for the smartphone or the iPhone is fully sufficient for eagles, because their wing flap frequency is relatively low. So it's fine. It'll work. Okay, so that's fine. Thank you, Georgia Cruci. Nice to see you. Wonderful. So anyway, so that's the idea, right? So let's jump to some footage now. Let me just give me a second. So I'm going to change screens once again. Up to now, it's really working. I'm going to shrink now, because otherwise I'm in the way. So I'm going into my library and just showing you how amazing this is. It's not a high resolution camera. It only has 720p's at 1,000 frames per second. However, the footage is out of this world. You know, it's just out of this world. So let's have a look at this one. This is an example. I mean, just look at this. Well, I don't know what else to say, but it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. So this eagle is about to land here, as you can see, and this is at 1,000 frames per second. So it's slowing down by a factor of 17 or 18. I can't do the arithmetic. 1,000 divided by 30. What is it? Well, it's about 30 times slow motion. So, of course, I mean, this is beautiful. And then, of course, you can zoom in. I don't know if you can zoom in here at the moment. No, I can't get the zoom in at the moment. But I think it gives you an idea how absolutely stunning slow motion can be. And you know what's so beautiful? We are seeing details with slow motion that can never be seen by the eye. This whole thing happens in less than a second. It's so quick, right? And it's coming so nice and slow. Just to play it again, just one more time, just that you can enjoy it. We look at the tail feathers. Just look at the tail feathers here and see what they're doing. The tail feathers are almost synchronous with the flap of the wings. They're going up and down, really beautiful. So at the moment it's almost hovering, right? It's almost hovering and looking for a spot to land. You can see how the talons are already stretched out, and you know it's really incredible. In fact, one of the movies that I did last year on Facebook got over 17 million views. Thank you very much for all your appreciation. But that was stunning. That was just stunning to be able to do something like that, right? So by the way, this camera is all manual focus, not easy to operate, but if you can operate it, you'll get amazing footage. I'm quickly looking at some other footage here. Anything else I could show you? Let's try this one. I don't even remember. This is not completely in focus, I think. Yeah, sometimes I had a bit of problems with focus. No, it's not in focus. Let's look at this Juvie. Yeah, this one's in focus, right? Let's look at this one. It's about to take off. Again, an Eagle takes off in about 0.2 seconds. It's incredibly fast. So what you see here, it's compressing like a spring. Look at the feathers now. Look at look at this incredible jump. And the wingspan of an Eagle is about 6 feet. That's your social distance. Everybody knows what 2 meters and 6 feet means now. But already in the first downward stroke, it has to be higher so it doesn't scrape the the wings on the ground. Let me just show you that again, so it becomes completely clear. That's why it's jumping up so high, so it won't hit the ground with its long wings. You see that now? It's jumping like mad. Now come the feathers. See how the feathers go down? The wing goes down, and it's well above that now. It's carrying a fish there. Really beautiful to see that in slow motion. It's absolutely incredible. Let's see what if I have another one here. Oh, that's another beauty. Oh, that's absolutely magnificent, this one. Because, I mean, first of all, this is the Aleutian Islands. I can only say Alaska is just amazing, right? So you can see, first of all, the beautiful scenery, the background. So I have to see, and again, I didn't cut this. I don't remember. This is all raw footage. Look at the leg. Look at the angle it's taking and the focus of the Eagle and this beautiful takeoff. Again, look at the tail feathers, 12 tail feathers spread out like that. It's absolutely magnificent, right? So it's just amazing, right? So that's really, let's see if I have anything else. I think here was I don't even remember all my footage here. I've got so much beautiful footage still from Dutch Harbor. I think, oh yes, here was an Eagle. This is also magnificent to see the whole catching here. Did you see how he caught that? He lost the fish there. This is when fishermen, they put up some remaining fish. So look at the scene again. You see this very often in photography, but in slow motion, this is absolutely incredible because it's a very complex coordination that takes Eagle several years to perfect. You see that? Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It loses it at that moment, but because it was in a hurry. But still, well, you can see the power of the way the fish is flinging up. But that takes place in less than 0.1 seconds. It's so fast. So it's just really, really nice to see. I'm just going to show it to you again. Here, the nice thing is you can stop at any moment. You see that? I can really stop and show you that in detail because the footage is just so clear. So you can study the exact dynamics of flight here. Really beautiful. Okay, and let's see if I have another one. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I'm just scrolling through my footage here. Let's see. What was this one? I don't even remember. What was this one? Let's just see. This is another one. I don't remember what this one was. Okay, what's that? I don't know what's going on here. Wait a second, let me just see. Oh yeah, that's just another beautiful one of an Eagle landing. Just very nice. Okay, just really beautiful. There you go. So there it is. Anyway, so I just wanted to finally just jump back to the most wonderful thing that has happened today. I mean, just go back to the Southwest Florida nest with you. 1 second, I'm just going to jump back to the comments so I can read all your comments. Live dashboard, see if you're all still there. Yes, you are. You're definitely all there. That's wonderful. Okay, just looking quickly. Hi, Susan North is also here. That's very nice. Everybody's talking, of course, about the amazing... I'm also talking about Harriet and M15, Southwest Florida, the amazing Florida nest. I'm just reading your okay, MSO says blood. There is a network of blood vessels that must be separated from the egg and absorbed into the eaglet's body. One may have been absorbed late and leaked some blood. Thank you, MSO. That's great. And thanks always for also writing to me and giving a lot of help there. So there's your explanation. Thanks for that. So the question there was, why was there a trace of blood on the shell of the egg? And that was the answer. Let's just go back a little bit because this has the ability. Yeah, here we go. Yes, this is the, again, I'm just spooling back a little bit. So that's going back to the, yeah, there you can see both eggs. I just wanted to see if you can see the, I'm just going to spool back a little bit here. Let's see, somewhere where we see the eggs in detail. 1 second, I think it's about here. They're going to show the pip in great detail. Just hang on. 1 second, I'm just looking for the moment. I think it was here. Yes, they're trying to get it sharp now, of course, because they're zooming in. So again, this little eagle has a calcium tooth, right? There's a calcium tooth on that's on the beak, and there it is hammering right through. Absolutely exquisite footage here, right? And again, this all happened just a few minutes ago. So I'm just spooling back a little bit, and you can watch all this live. What better way to celebrate my birthday, and whoever else has birthday, raise your hands. Eagle Woman, hi Christian, good to see you back. Yes, I will do more live shows, so I'll tell you a little bit what I have up my sleeve. Several good things. There's one thing, so I don't know if you're interested in orcas, but there is an absolutely exquisite and really amazing, I'm just going to enlarge myself a bit more here, just wait a second so I can talk to you properly. Yeah, I'll talk like this. So again, that's the Southwest Florida nest in the background. So what is so amazing there is there's a marine biologist in Norway. Actually, she's Danish, and I would like to interview her, and she's going to talk about orcas. And she has the most phenomenal orcas pictures you have ever seen in your life. It's absolutely exquisite. So she's written several books. She's also written a book about about Charles Darwin. I think it'll be an absolute privilege. She's agreed to be interviewed. If that's something that interests you, please wave and say, yes, Christian, I'd love to hear about orcas, because I will make sure that she's next in line, because I think she's absolutely, yes. Susan says, I love orcas as well. So please give a thumbs up or something, and do click the like and so on in appreciation if you liked what I'm broadcasting today. So that would be great. This Amanda also says love orcas. Okay, so that's going to be this is a brilliant woman, really a brilliant science woman. I have great admiration for you. So you can see, just talking about great female engineers, great female scientists. This is a great example. So it'll be a privilege. I will align her for a Saturday or Sunday, maybe even next week. And do a live stream. I think you're going to love it, right? You're going to love it. So that's all about orcas. Just incredible. And again, her knowledge, she's written books and given a lot of talks. So I feel really fortunate that I'll be able to have her on live stream. Then I have a very young and talented photographer. I think he's just started on the University of British Columbia. He does the most amazing bird footage that I've seen. He's got a huge following. I will also do that live. Of course, I'm going to interview nobody here in the studio. I'm just going to do that and bring in him. His name is Liron Gertzman, and so that's it's very nice to see young people come into this, right? And be so dedicated to wildlife. He's studying biology as far as I know. So we'll bring him in too. So Diana just says, West End has new male estimated to be around 4 years old. Okay, I see. And is not yet on incubating. Oh, I see. Okay, thank you very much, Diana, for that. Okay. And then because it's also the eagle season, I mean, you have this miracle that just happened in Southwest Florida. You can see what happened on the West End Islands. We're going to talk more about the biology of what the whole miracle of life is about, right, with David Hancock. So I'm going to call him in, also again remotely. David won't be in the studio, but he will prepare some incredibly detailed, and hear it from the world's best or most knowledgeable eagle biologist that I know. Turning, I think, 80, is it 81 or 82? I can't remember, on the 1st of April, right? So in there you go, 29th of March, so 3 days, and it's going to be his birthday. Quite remarkable. So I'll get in David too, and we'll show you a lot on the education, really what's going on, in the duct, how the calcium gets developed. We'll talk more about the second clutch, probably in details that you don't know, right? I certainly don't. David Hancock is going to give a lot of details on that. So I think we have a lot of very interesting, beautiful, live streams lined up. I hope you'll enjoy that, and I hope it'll give you some encouragement. I know wherever you are, just quickly, because we have to talk a bit about the coronavirus too, right? Because it's devastating. It's absolutely devastating. It's escalating everywhere. I feel very much for my Canadian fellows, all my Canadian friends then south of the border, of course. The 49th parallel is the border between Canada and US. Most Canadian citizens live along the 49th parallel, actually, because Canada's huge, but when you go up there, there's nothing, right? It goes right up 60 north and so on. It just gets wild up there. But anyway, there's a lot of, it's getting really serious. My advice is just, what you can really do is isolate yourself. That's the best you can do. And I'm even doing it. I'm not having a birthday party. I'm having my birthday party with you all. Okay, but just be sensible, especially when you get older, right? The risk increases. So do everyone a favor. Just be compassionate to others, and stay inside, even if it's difficult, but stay isolated as much as possible. That's your biggest hope of survival, right? Also remember, unfortunately, the medical situation is going to get really bad. I have a lot of contact. I have contact to my sister in Germany. I just talked to her. I have to my other sisters in South Africa. I of course have my telescope company in Australia, so I have a lot of contact also worldwide. So I get first-hand information of what the situation is in many countries, and it is really as bad as the news says. I have to just tell you, keep calm, and yes, keep safe, and that's the best, and keep positive, really positive. Wherever you are, just keep positive. That's what I can tell you. I'll try and be live as much as possible. I'll definitely print on a daily basis. I'll publish my images on Facebook so you can enjoy them, right? You're very free to share them and so on. That's all fine. Just give me credit. That's the only thing I'm asking. Okay. So anyway, on that note, you're just saying here, Neil says, never seen a hatch with blood before. Cruise ships are floating petri dishes. That's an interesting here from Neil. I haven't heard that one before. Yes, unfortunately, you are right. You're absolutely right. Well, anyway, there's so much live stream going on. I thought Bill Gates, by the way, gave an excellent coverage. I mean, that man is really super intelligent, and there are lots of others, Dr. Fauci and so on. There are a lot of people all over the world giving very good, for me, scientific insight. I'm interested in the science of the thing, the scientific insight, because that's what we really have to rely on, right? Bill Gates said the only way to survive this is really if we do a complete, not that we get isolated in all states. I completely agree with him. It's completely clear. You can't have a bubbling hot pot somewhere and not elsewhere. By the way, we know this also from the Spanish flu. It wasn't really called Spanish flu because it had something to do with Spain. But from 1918, you may know that was the worst flu where about 50 to 100 million people died, right? It was absolutely devastating just as the First World War ended. And there was no vaccine. The vaccine came much later, right? So they went through an incredibly steep learning curve. And then the second wave of the Spanish flu happened when all the soldiers returned from wherever they were back in their boats, and they brought the second wave of Spanish flu. Wow. So what we learned from that, isolate yourself, keep distance, and common sense mostly, right? So that's just my final wisdom. Enjoy the day. I'm going to have some cake. I love chocolate cake, by the way, so that you know. Lots of chocolate cake, that's what we need today. Make yourself a wonderful day. My hummingbirds, by the way, are doing wonderfully. So if you have hummingbirds, they're such a blessing, right? It's so nice to have hummingbirds. It's a feeling of spring. We can listen to the birds everywhere. Isn't that just wonderful, right? So anyway, on that note, yes, Bill Gates, says Karen, it was brilliant. I watched him all overnight. Dr. Fauci for president. Well, I couldn't agree more. You know, those are super great, bright people. Listen to them. They are very wise, you know, and it's very, very good that we have such people on board. It's really great. So anyway, on that note, have a wonderful birthday. Well, I'm having a wonderful birthday. If anyone has a birthday in the next days or you've had one, happy Aries holiday and happy Aries birthday. And most of all, I'm just going to shrink myself here. Most of all, my dear, happy birthday to this wonderful, and that's the most amazing thing, what's happening here. And my tears are nearly coming because I'm so happy with Southwest Florida. It's just so amazing, isn't it? What a blessing, what a blessing, what a blessing. Anyway, on that note, I'm just going to first say goodbye to everyone on Periscope. So thanks for joining. And then I'm going to say goodbye to everyone on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining, my dear friends. And I will really do much more, okay? And have a wonderful Sunday today. And then finally, we are my dear friends on Facebook, of course. Thanks for all your comments. I'm just reading them as they come in.